Hey YouTube, today I've got a video for you that's very different than what I normally put out. Today I'm going to try to answer the question, is PvZ Heroes dead? Or at least, is this game still worth playing? These questions hit close to home for me because the bulk of my content is PvZ Heroes gameplay, plus I've sunk thousands of hours and hundreds of dollars into this game since I picked it up at global release. So before we get into the issues that I and a large chunk of the PvZ community have with PvZ Heroes, let's go back in time, back to the beginning. Plants vs. Zombies Heroes was initially soft launched in March 10, 2016 in a few select countries. Dedicated fans were able to get their hands on it early, but the game was still fairly low-key. During the soft launch, they added features like battling users by using their username, the card recycling and crafting system, and hero quests. Fast forward to October 18, 2016. The game gets launched globally with Set 1 totaling 240 cards. Not bad. After this, they kept up with the player base's need for new content through event cards, some purchasable and some earnable with in-game tickets. While some weren't a fan of the paid event cards, they always became craftable eventually, so it wasn't that bad. The first real gigantic mistake that PopCap made with this game were the rarity changes. They took some of the best and most used cards and, you guessed it, raised their rarities. There was no reason to do this other than blatant greed. Making better cards harder to get didn't help the player at all, it just increased the amount of time or money that you needed to spend to play the cards that you wanted to play. On June 8, 2017, the second set of cards was released, Galactic Gardens. This added 100 space-themed cards along with new mechanics for players to try out. It was like Christmas. The event cards were keeping us happy, but then bam, a boatload of new cards to enjoy. But if that weren't enough, only a bit over a month after that, two new heroes were released, Huge Giganticus and Beta Caratina. They were a very rare drop from limited release packs, which was not particularly free-to-play friendly, but they were purchasable for gems, so there wasn't that much to complain about. After that, more event cards came and went each week, and they added a couple minor quality of life and single-player things, but before they got around to releasing the next set, they had to kick budget players right in the pea pods with another round of rarity changes. All of which went upwards, of course, again. Bye-bye super rares, hello legendaries. Eventually, October 9 rolled around, which brought the release of Set 3, Colossal Fossils. This was a dinosaur-themed set that contained 50 new cards, which was half of Galactic Gardens, but it came with new mechanics to try out, and we were all excited, so we didn't think anything of it. There was then a quiet patch as far as official updates go, but through data mining, we knew we had a new set coming up. It was also at this time that the public figured out that we had run out of event cards. The future weekly events would just be looped for the next year, following essentially the same pattern they did for 2017. At first glance, it seemed like a nice gesture to new players and people who missed getting 4 copies the first time the cards came around, but it also seemed to either point to laziness or lack of future content. But, as we expected, on January 30th, 2018, PopCap blessed us with a second dinosaur-themed set, Triassic Triumph. This fourth set brought 50 additional cards and even more mechanics while incorporating some of Colossal Fossils mechanics as well. But it was pretty lame of them to essentially take a full set of 100 cards like we had with Galactic Gardens and break it into 2 chunks. A few people voiced their concerns on that, but we were all pretty much happy because, oh yeah, set 4, bro. But since then, hardly anything. And this is where the problems begin. We're approaching the year anniversary of set 4, but literally all we've had from PopCap/EA is a single balance update in the spring, which changed the stats of a few cards to keep the meta from stagnating. A Reddit user named PLover also leaked another possible upcoming balance update on November 5, 2018, and PLover has been confirmed as a reliable source in the past, but they're not set in stone yet. Besides that, we've literally received nothing, not even communication from PopCap. Many have tried to reach out through the official forums, Twitter, even submitting tickets asking if we can expect more actual content, but they're full-on radio silence. If you go to their website, the last update post was just an announcement for Set 4 in January. This doesn't give us much to go on. However, like a real secret agent, Reddit user Nutshell in a Nutshell did some digging, research, and probably voodoo magic, prompting this gigantic post. In this post, Nutshell outlines that PvZ Heroes wasn't as large of a success as PopCap had intended, leading them to release this letter in July 2017. So this letter basically just says that, they love making games, but things are changing and they need to make some changes. And to do that, we've made the difficult decision to reduce the size of our team in Seattle, and we are refocusing on key titles and new projects. We're saying goodbye to some talented colleagues and friends today, and that hurts. We will help them with severance and other assistance and wish every single one of them the absolute best. PopCap Seattle isn't going anywhere. We're refocused and re-energized. We're returning to our roots, smaller, leaner, pushing hard to build new things, and aiming big to excite fans worldwide with our games. Nutshell in a Nutshell goes on to outline that 2 art directors for this game, Jordan and Kevin Hanna, are no longer present, as well as many other smaller artists and team members that have been with PopCap Seattle for up to 7 years. So PopCap farmed out their artistic work to Hibernum Creations to finish up the design work for Set 3 and 4. One of the animators named Dominic Sodano had finished many of the animations for later cards, but he was laid off around the time Galactic Gardens was released. Checking his Vimeo, we can see that he even did animations for cards and potential heroes that we haven't even heard of yet. The last thing Nutshell points to are PopCap's Glassdoor Reviews. These are reviews that current and former employees of PopCap leave to let potential new hires know how things are going in PopCap. And a lot of them are fairly grim. There's a lot of talk about purposeful creative stagnation, corporate strong-arming to hit revenue goals, layoffs of key staff members, farming out a ton of work to contract workers while dangling the carrot of full-time employment the entire time they work, and just a lot of that nastiness. Now, we should take the reviews with a grain of salt because, everybody knows that ex-employees are not always the best judge of character when it comes to their previous places of work, but taking that combined with the other issues and the fact that we have no communication with PvZ staff and there are bugs that haven't been fixed that were there since beta, it doesn't look great. Taking all the info we have into consideration, what does it add up to? PopCap has shown in the past, even quite recent past, that they're willing to update games that many consider dead. Looking at you, Garden Warfare 2. That, coupled with the fact that they potentially had new content already finished a year ago, means we could get new stuff, even if it's only for a cash grab. But with things the way they are, it's probably best to not get your hopes up for PvZ content. For the last little bit of this video, I wanted to push aside the doom and gloom I just showered you in, and I want to make a point to say PvZ Heroes is a super fun game. Of course, that's a subjective thing, it's just my opinion. The glitches are minor, the art is awesome, and it's actually pretty well balanced. It's a smooth running machine, and it's a lot of fun. We have a great community of people who are passionate about the game and getting the most out of it together, which is what PopCap has always been about. For those reasons, I think the game has incredible potential. As for whether or not it's worth playing, that's up to you. There's potentially a lot of free fun here, but you do run the risk of investing time into something that could disappear in the blink of an eye. That just about wraps up everything I wanted to say about PvZ Heroes at the moment, so I'd like to turn the discussion towards you guys. Do you guys think PvZ Heroes has a fighting chance still, or is it just dead in the water? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, this video took a ton of work, believe it or not, so if you wouldn't mind dropping a like and a comment below, I'd appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you so much for watching.